Familiar with a Megalodon, you probably think it's the scariest sea monster to ever exist, and it kinda makes sense. The Megalodon is an insanely big prehistoric monster and could grow as long as 16 feet. However, the Megalodon isn't the scariest sea monster. In fact, there are 10 sea monsters far scarier, and in this video, we'll have a look at them. Let's begin, shall we? Number 10. Helicoprion. It's one thing to be terrifying, and it's another thing if it looks like something out of an alien movie. This prehistoric shark might be the most fascinating and terrifying shark you're ever gonna see. The Helicoprion was a fish alive 270 million years ago, and it had the most unusual feature, a spiral set of teeth. Yes, you heard that right. In fact, when it was discovered, these fossils were actually thought to be some kind of exotic ammonite shell. These arrangements of fossil teeth are today referred to as a tooth whorl. Just imagine how easy it'd be to catch prey with those set of teeth. Scientists are still very confused about how this creature would have caught its prey. Still, I'm sure it wouldn't have any trouble ripping through another shark. Number 9. Kronosaurus. One of the largest and deadliest marine reptiles in the history of life on Earth, Kronosaurus was the evilest predator of the early Cretaceous seas. You can assume how evil it was, considering its name comes from the evil Kronos, father of Zeus, who would eat his own children in an attempt to preserve his power. That gives us an idea of what Kronosaurus would have been like. The fossil of this creature was first found in 1899 and was named in 1924. The craziest part is that the Kronosaurus wasn't even a shark or a whale. It was actually a sea reptile, measuring 33 feet from snout to tail and weighing between 7 to 10 tons. Kronosaurus was one of the biggest creatures in the sea. Even though it didn't have sharp teeth, this monster compensated with a lethally powerful bite and an ability to chase prey at high speeds. Once Kronosaurus got a firm grip on a plesiosaur or a marine turtle, it could shake its prey silly and then crush its skull as easily as an undersea grape. This creature terrorized the world about 250 million years ago. Number 8. Dunkleosteus. Speedy, powerful, and happy to eat most things, this was a creature to avoid. 360 million years ago, Dunkleosteus was as violent as it looked. It had a powerfully built and armor-plated round its head. It was streamlined and shark-like. Dunkleosteus lacked true teeth. Instead, it had 2 long, bony blades that could snap and crush almost anything in sight, even turtle shells. Pigment cells suggest Dunkleosteus had dark colors on its back and was silvery on its belly. This fish was anything but picky with its food, and ate anything in sight. It ate fish, sharks, and even its own kind. And it seems that Dunkleosteus suffered from stomachache as a result. Its fossils are often associated with vomit and semi-digested remains of fish. Dunkleosteus may have been one of the earliest animals to exist as male or female, meaning that pairs of fish had to mate physically. Number 7. Blue whale. The blue whale is the only animal on this list to not be extinct. And I know what you're thinking. How's the blue whale even scarier than Megalodon? Well, did you know that the blue whale is literally the largest sea animal to ever exist? Yes, bigger than even the Meg, and a lot of dinosaurs. There's never been a sea monster larger than the blue whale, and that's just a fact. Do you still think the blue whale's not scary? Imagine if you're a diver and you suddenly came in contact with a large shark that was bigger than a 3-story building. Wouldn't you be scared straight out of your mind? That's exactly the kind of animal the blue whale is. It can grow to an immense and frankly outrageous length of 98 feet and weighs about 190 tons. Thankfully, these whales aren't a fan of human meat, or meat in general. The diet of blue whales is largely confined to krill, which are small fishes that are usually found together in large groups. That's probably the only reason it isn't higher up on the list. Despite the fact that a blue whale may not want to eat a tasty human being, you would certainly be scared if you saw this gigantic animal swimming towards you. Number 6. Stethecanthus. When it comes to size, this strange shark is certainly not outstanding. I mean, most other sharks on this list are way larger than it. However, one trait of the Stethecanthus made sure it could make this list. And what's that trait? Well, the shark has an extremely unique dorsal fin that scientists haven't been able to fully explain or understand yet. And yes, this dorsal fin would have been extremely scary to human beings. Thankfully, the animal died out about 200 million years ago, so we didn't even have to be scared to death of it. This unusual dorsal fin of this shark resembles an anchor or an ironing board, and small spikes covered this crest to make it even scarier. Scientists believe that this unusually shaped fin was mostly used for mating rituals, and this belief is better reinforced when you consider that only males had this weird thing jutting out of their head. Number 5. Leopleurodon. Thanks to its cameo appearances on TV show Walking with Dinosaurs and the YouTube favorite Charlie the Unicorn, Leopleurodon is one of the better-known marine reptiles of the prehistoric era. Like many prehistoric animals discovered in the 19th century, Leopleurodon was named on the basis of very scanty fossil evidence, exactly 3 teeth, each of them almost 3 inches long. It has been exaggerated that this creature used to be 24 meters long, when in reality, its size was just 9.1 meters. But that doesn't mean the creature was anything less than a monster. Leopleurodon was an aquatic predator with 4 paddle-like fins and an enormous pair of jaws. It used to hunt down creatures even bigger than its own size, and would eat anything that was its size. It is believed that Leopleurodon had a bigger appetite than most other sea monsters. Its fossils date back almost 160 million years. Number 4. Mosasaurus. You probably remember this beast from Jurassic World. Mosasaurus are considered the great marine reptiles that ruled the seas millions of years ago. Although they're often referred to as the T-Rex of the sea, they were not dinosaurs, but reptiles that returned to the sea during the Cretaceous period. Even though they're aquatic, these great beasts were still reptiles that breathed air. Mosasaurus had around 40 to 50 massive teeth, which were conical and sharp, fitted into a jaw that was long and tapered. This was not a predator that took large bites out of its prey, but one that pierced its prey and swallowed it whole, much like modern snakes. Scary! Mosasaurus likely preyed on fish, turtles, ammonites, and smaller mosasaurs and plesiosaurs. Mosasaurus was a reptile, and like all other reptiles, it had to breathe air, so it would need to come to the surface now and again to fill its lungs with oxygen. Its limbs had evolved to be paddle-like, with skin fusing the finger and toe bones together. They had a slim body plan with a long, strong tail, and swam with a serpentine undulation of the whole body, using the limbs more for maneuvering than locomotion. Number 3. Basilosaurus. We know that whales are some of the biggest creatures in the world. It's impossible to think that any other creature would eat it for dinner. Well, that might not have been the case about 50 million years ago. Basilosaurus was another terrifying sea monster that actually munched on ancient whales. Researchers found that the whale could bite with a force of over 3,600 pounds at the position of its upper third premolar. Basilosaurus didn't go right for the killing stroke, though. First, it would grip its victim with over 2,300 pounds of force. With prey in place, Basilosaurus could then toss it back further along the jaw for a deadly shear bite. That's the same trick crocodiles use with turtles to defeat their thick defense. Number 2. Plesiosaurs. Look, when I think of scary, I think of large teeth, a jaw that can grind a small plate, and huge, menacing eyes. I generally don't think of a lumbering, long-necked turtle-like creature that looks like it could smother just about anything to death. Regardless of this, fear is the overwhelming emotion people feel when they see the plesiosaurs. This animal lived over 130 million years ago and looks like something from the imagination of a disturbed child. If you think that the plesiosaurs look like the Loch Ness Monster, you may not be wrong. In fact, this animal served as the inspiration of the Loch Ness Monster, and its unique anatomy means that it's the subject of a lot of controversy in the scientific community. When Mary Inning, a renowned paleontologist, first discovered the bones of this prehistoric sea creature, people said that she'd forged it. Why, though? Well, they simply could not believe that such an animal could exist. But she was right, and other fossils proved it. Number 1. Livyatan melvillei. Livyatan melvillei and Megalodon were 2 of the most terrifying ocean predators this planet has ever seen. These are the kind of creatures that have spawned myth and legend since mankind first went into the water. Even though Megalodon is more famous, many researchers believe that Livyatan melvillei